Today I'm going to walk you through the new Dogtra 280x Pro. Just to be clear, this is different than the 280x. They just recently came out with this one. If you want a review on the 280x, I've got that elsewhere on the channel. I suggest taking a look. Now, this collar is very different than the 280x, although it does have some similarities. Now, you might find yourself wondering, why does this collar even exist? I'm going to try to give you the short answer here. When they came out with the 280x, what I saw is that people that had never used a Dogtra product before and were new to the collars really liked it. So my clients have loved the 280x. But, and this is important, trainers and people that had been using the 280C in some of the older collars weren't very happy. And there's a couple reasons. One was the actual part you hold in your hand was thicker, which was not a big fan, or not a selling feature, I guess, let's say, for a lot of people. But on top of that, they changed the button placement, and people were so used to the old button placement, and the new one, I will agree on the 280X, is an inferior placement for most people. But let's talk about what this collar is all about. Super cool. We're not going to spend much time talking about the actual collar. We're going to talk about this here. So here's the deal. This is actually 3 collars in one. It's really awesome. What you can do is you reprogram it. I'm not going to show you all the button pushing. They give you this. You don't need me to walk you through that. But I'm going to walk you through what this collar can do. So first, it comes in what they call Pro Mode. Pro Mode is pretty awesome. If you've used Dogtra collars in the past, you're going to be very familiar with this. So let me see if I can get it to where you can see it. You're going to have Nick and Constant on the side. You're going to have the vibration on the front, and then you're going to have tone and light on the other side. So you've got your correction here, you've got tone and light, and then you've got pager in the middle. People, I think people are going to love this setup. I know most dog trainers are going to really like that. Now, something that caused a lot of issues for people was this toggle switch. This is a 3-dog collar, so is the 280X. This is a 3-dog collar, meaning you can just, it's a 3-dog unit. You can add on 2 more collars and use it for up to 3 dogs. But the problem became people would accidentally hit this switch. Now it's on dog 2, or they hit it again, and now it's on dog 3, and then it's not working. It's not doing what they need it to do. They added a lock on it, and I believe, let's see. Yeah, I already have the lock in place. So now, no matter what I do here, dog 1, 2, or 3, this is still gonna work. You can see the tone is going no matter what. So that's a really nice feature I think a lot of people are gonna like. Now, I mentioned that it's gotten a little bit smaller. They say 12% smaller. I could see that. It's definitely smaller. I don't know if you can see it on camera. You might say, hey, big deal, not an issue. But what was happening, a lot of women especially were reporting they were having issues with one-handed operation. They were having problems with being able to hold it and turn the knob on the top and adjust on the fly. 12% is a pretty big difference, and I think that's going to solve that issue for a lot of people. Now, the next thing we should talk about is what happens when you go to reprogram and you put it in a whole different mode. You can put it in what they call 2-dog mode. When you do, you have a new faceplate. It is awesome. All you do is you take out these 4 Allen wrenches and you pop on your new faceplate. Now, I don't know how the camera will do picking this up, but I want to show you. If you can see that well, this is going to remind you a lot, if you know the older Dogtra products, of a 282C, a 2-dog unit. Because what it does when you pop this on is you have dog 1 here, dog 2 there, and then you have another button for dog 1, another button for dog 2, and they're adjustable. So what would happen is you use this here, this toggle on the very top, the 1, 2, and 3, to toggle between pager, tone, and light. So dog 1 you would have on this side would be your correction, and this would be dog 2. If you can't switch between Nick and Constant, well, I shouldn't say you can't switch easily. You can switch easily, but you don't have dedicated buttons. To switch in 2-dog, you just hold this for a couple seconds. The middle button, that's all it does is switch between Nick and Constant. So you can hold this for 2 seconds, and then your Nick is now a Constant, or vice versa. So it's pretty easy to switch back and forth. And to switch between pager, tone, and light, you're just pushing this. Really easy. Now, the third thing you can do is you can put it in, I forget what they call it, I think it's standard mode. It actually doesn't come with a faceplate for standard mode, so it comes with these 2. Standard mode is a 280X. So when you look at what standard mode does, and it shows it right here, standard mode basically just turns this into a 280X. You have Nick Constant in the middle. You have the boost on the side, which if you've heard me talking today, that's the first time I'm mentioning boost. The reason is in Pro mode and 2-dog mode, the boost is not there. And very few collars have that. You've got to choose what's important to you, right? To have tone, light, pager, boost, nick, constant. And if you don't want a zillion buttons, you're going to have to compromise somewhere. So if you go to the kind of standard mode, then you'd be able to have the boost again. Now, people are, asking, I've gotten this question a lot, well, which collar should I be getting? And it really comes down to how you're going to use it and what you want. Now, this is obviously more versatile than the 280X. The Pro is way more versatile because it can go in use standard mode, which is a 280X, or it can switch into these two other modes. So most people, I think, are probably going to opt for the Pro, but that doesn't make the 280X a bad thing. It really comes down to what you're going to use it for. Now, there are times, although this has a dedicated 2-dog mode on it, and you think dedicated is always going to be better, it really comes down to your dogs. So if you're a trainer, if you're always switching between dog 1, dog 2, dog 1, dog 2, and you're constantly using this thing up here, and you'd rather have the 2 buttons, if you're switching between dog 1 and dog 2 a lot, you're going to love 2-dog mode. It makes a lot of sense. But I have clients that have 2 dogs, and they want a 2-dog unit, but they're addressing dog 1 98% of the time. And every once in a while, they're addressing dog number 2, and those people would like to have the boost function. So for someone like that, I really think they're going to prefer the 280X or this in standard mode, because they can work with dog 1, they have the boost when needed, and every once in a while they have to go to the next dog and page them or correct them or do something to get their attention, and then they'll go back to dog 1. If you're doing that, a little trick I learned from some of the folks at Dogtra is, although you have 1, 2, and 3, you can program just 1 and 3 and skip 2. And the reason is it sounds like not a big deal, but it can be harder to find 2 than it is to find 1 or 3, because for those you can just slam it up or slam it down. So if you're having this in standard mode or you're using the 280X, I suggest programming 1 and 3. Now, I hope this is helpful. If you have questions, reach out. Like I said, I would try to keep it as brief as possible. Great collar, but definitely let me know if you have questions and I can answer them for you.